Hello, everybody. I'm just checking if this is working, and just let me know in the live chat. For me, it's a pleasure to be with you, and let me check if everything is correct. Let me check if everything is correct. Okay, so I see a lot of people in the chat, and this this stream is basically to give you more information about how to paint in style I showed in the thumbnail. Okay, so it's very easy. I'm not gonna tell you something secret or whatever, but I hope we have a good time just painting with Krita, because we are having a lot of different things around the world. So I think it's a good place to share some good feelings. Okay. So if you have any question, you can just leave me a chat. I try to read all the comments. So maybe you highlighted the question, just writing the Krita, and then your question. Okay, just let me. Okay, so if we want to create a landscape, first of all, I think yes, because YouTube records everything by default, but also I am recording with OBS, the streaming. Bonjour, excellent, voilà. También se puede hablar en español. Si alguien quiere hacer algún comentario o se maneja mejor en español, puede hablar en español perfectamente. ¿Ok? Bueno, hoy vamos a hablar acerca de este set que hice ya hace tiempo. So today we are going to talk about this set I published time ago. I think it was a month ago. It's basically created to give a nice textured feeling, and the original brush tip for this brush came from Sepia pack, which was created by Retelier, another Krita users. And I talked with him asking permission for use the brush tip, and he says do whatever you want with the brush tip. So I want to give the thanks to Retelier. This is the user, the Krita user, that creates this pack. And this pack is really interesting. It has nice brushes to work with. So if you want to give it a try, just let me know if you find the more hidden gems in in the pack. Okay. I optimize the behavior, performance, and create another aesthetics for the brush, because the brush tip is not everything in the brush. The more important about a brush is the dynamics, the behavior of the parameters. Okay? Yeah, we are on TV, or more than TV. We are around the world with internet. Okay? So it's very easy, because if you just select the Chalk D, these are the brushes that we are going to use. I think that we don't have to use too much brushes to create an interesting piece of artwork. Okay, so I designed this to be fast in a big size, around 400 or more, because I want to cover a wide area, and that is the reason what the name is area cover. Where to see your face for once. What? I don't know if I am. Just give me a second to resize this a bit, because maybe I have put the cam in the wrong place. Let me check. So yeah, I'm right here. So done. Hello everybody. Okay, so I was telling about this brush, which is good for wide area covering, and it has a wash effect if you use it with a low pressure. You can see, hi Rakuri. Rakuri is another Krita artist. It creates also interesting brushes, and you can find their brushes in kritaartist.org, and it's always working and creating new things. So thanks, Rakuri. This doormat, the brushes are already shared. You can check out in the community tab of the channel, and you can get the link. Maybe I can look for you just for a second. Let me keep the privacy just a bit. The community. Okay, the community. And it was shared here, so this is the right link. Okay. Oh, I don't know if this is gonna work. It doesn't allows me to paste the link. So go to the community and you can get the brushes there. Okay. Okay, so I was talking about this brush. As you can see, there's a lot of different variations in the hue that are controlled by here, and using the fuzzy depth. It's a slight variation across all the stroke, and you can see maybe blue and purple and sometimes a bit of cyan. Okay, so we can paint really easy with this brush, and this brush is the same as this one, but is more oriented to cover with more, you can see, more opaque. It's to create this kind of brush stroke. Okay, if this is like a wash, you can see that the opacity is not covering everything. You can make washes. This one is more darker, and you will see in a minute how we paint something with water and mountains and so on. Okay, and this was another variant. I remember I was looking for a brush to create like crayons, and after I think was a couple of years, because I created this bundle really time ago, but keep it privately because I was not sure. And when I say privately, there were a user that asked me if he can use it, and I say yes, you can use it, but I don't publish because I was looking for more. This is a problem that I have. There are a lot of brushes that I have waiting to be published because I am always looking for more. So you can see that it's stretched, and by default is for this size, and you can see it's a roughened texture. But imagine that you increase the size and you get this nice textural effect. And this is very interesting because if you are creating a terrain, maybe you have a base color and then you want to darken a bit and create some texture parts on the image, and you can create grunge terrain or this kind of feeling. Okay, this is another type of Scrubtail's Gluesar have the same problem as I have. Yeah, we are addicted to the brush making, I think. You can download these brushes, as I told before, in the community tab on the YouTube channel. I will try to copy only the text. Let me please, YouTube. Where it goes? Well, you can have this link. Yeah, now it works. Okay, so I was telling that this is creating also a grungy effect that combined with the others complements very well for painting. You will see in a moment. And this is different because it was created to create more detailed lines or just details. And this is a very cool brush. You are still currently in the hospital, Foxtail. Oh, sorry about that. I hope you are safe and okay as soon as possible. I know that experience, so stay calm and relax and be grateful for all the people who work just for your health, as I did time ago. And you can see that this effect is like watch. Okay, glitter brushes. Oh, interesting thing. I don't know how much people want a glittering brush. Just let me know, because maybe we can have something like this. Okay, okay, so you can see how this is painting more opaque. So I can create for example, maybe just an structural, and you can see how opaque it is. And it's perfect because for me it remembers the watch effect that you can get. And I created an image to demonstrate. I remember it was in the thread. Let me check. No. Well, okay, so this is basically the brushes. How do you think we can create a landscape with this? Well, it's really easy because we can cover wide areas easily. We can detail, and we can get some color variation really easy. Okay, and even when we don't have any blender here, we can just work. But imagine you can combine with all the sets you have installed, for example. Okay, let me just read the question. Have a strange question. Will there be an analog of the art history brush tool Photoshop in Krita. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but art history brush. Yeah, maybe I can investigate that more, but for painting purposes, it will be interesting to know how you use the art history brush tool. So if you have a link, just let me know, because when I was a Photoshop user long time ago, I was not using the art history brush tool. And about the Robbins Lee question, new brushes in Krita, I always making new brushes. You can see there are always hidden gems around here. They are, well, this is the Pessy, and this is, for example, a brush to create my paint effect, but with Krita brush editor, which is a personal challenge that I put myself to imitate the ghost effect and this kind of my paint behavior. But let's go for painting a landscape. Do you want vertical or do you want wherever? Okay, a good thing that we can do is just to I will wait for the glitter brush. Who knows? Yes. Hi, Coffee Time. Nice to see you. Coffee Time has another YouTube channel, and he paints with Krita, also landscapes. It's a very good just pastel kind of colors technique. So you can just look after, not right now, after. Okay, so let's go for painting. You can combine this and we start creating sky, maybe just not so big. And we're going to create sky like this, and I cover everything. It's free, so. But you can see as I am applying more brush strokes, you can see that I'm not painting like this. I am painting like in zigzag to create this structural variance. Okay, you can see this highlight, this dark part, and that creates good color variation. Okay. Okay, so now we can create, let me check one thing. Because maybe you want that I paint something like like I painted, this image was painted entirely with these brushes. So I can try to replicate, not at this level for right now, but maybe just to show the steps for the creation. Okay, landscape painting on yeah, Takiro Rio is right. I'm going to use the landscape format. And look forward to checking out the Coffee Time. Yeah. Tem pincéis que imitam glitter, porém não estão com nome de glitter. So glitter is an interesting subject. I didn't know about that. And I agree with Coffee Time. Krita is wonderful for the brush creation. We have impressive brushes by default. So when we add more brushes, we have super cool brushes for painting. And I know because I have tested all the applications, all the known applications. Okay, so let me check if I want to paint something like a surface. I create something like this. Milana, nice to meet you. Okay, so we have something like this, and this is the base ground for the greens. The red base makes that we have much contrast, and as you can see, the rocks. I'm gonna put this in a maybe as a reference. Maybe I'll reduce this. It's something, yeah, something like this. It's much more smaller, or maybe with pure ref, because I don't want to get disturbed by um, and using this application. I use both the okay, maybe something around this size, and you can see the image and how it feels as I am painting. Okay, well, more or less. Okay, do you think now it's better to compare the original with the painting? ¿Você sabe quais seriam esses pincéis? I don't know. Broken promise. Okay, I'm gonna paint exactly. Let's go for the hard section. Okay, base must be some warm base. Okay, I'm gonna go faster because we are chilling. But I like to be painting the patterns. Ooh, I didn't know it. You can see how you can get this, okay? And as I was talking before, I can use this to create with a darker color some kind of waves, darker parts of the sea. And it's interesting because if you sample just the right spot, you have the same color. And if you don't sample the same thing, you don't have the same color. So you have more natural variation. Colors are not perfect usually. And this, I use this for example, when I paint rocks, I create just like splats of water with this squashed brush. And it's easy to create this kind of effect. But this will be for later, not right now, because I have to create the greens and the highlights and this kind of things. Now I'm gonna paint some clouds, and for that I use this brush because it has a gradation from the white and it blends perfectly, creating a soft brush. Yeah, I'm working in a single layer because I think it's gonna be really fast painting. It's not a painting for production. It's only for fun, so we can save some time. But of course, we can use layer to make a foreground, middle ground, and background. I don't use too much layer when I am painting regularly. Okay. And when I'm painting clouds, I can combine these two brushes. I can create something like this. Here. The good thing about painting with not too much brushes is that you can be focused on your painting, not on selecting the right brush for the right task. I think we sometimes overcomplicate this thing. And I remember the old days when I was painting with mouse and 256 colors, really old times. You can see clouds are not exactly white. Then I'm gonna play with greens, and I prefer to work in that part because these greens for me are not appealing, but it's my taste. I prefer to work around this, or if you have painting, you have seen my other streamings. You know that I use this green, this chlorophyll. Boom! It's because no problem, Milana. Um, Hello, Iodine. Wow, big guy in Krita world. Oh, sure. Well, I can. Yes, I didn't realize about that. Okay, I put myself here or around here. I'm gonna fill the gap. Too much time without making any stream. Okay, and then I play with just like buff ropes on computer. This color blending effect work in different layers. What color blending effect? Juan Maciel. Hmm. Yeah, I agree with Gabriel Carmo because my native language is Spanish. And as you can see, I'm painting without worrying too much about this. I can fill the gaps here, maybe mixing with dark blues in this section or dark greens, and I start to see the similar effect. Okay. Reading the chat right now. Videos when I was looking up tutorials on Krita's perspective. Oh, thanks, Bauman Nation. Yes, I was thinking about to create more tutorials about perspective and the good possibilities that Krita has for that task. Okay. And then one thing that I do is just to create a dark base for this part of the rock. I'm going to paint this, darken. It's like some kind of vignette, but not the not exactly this. I'm creating the base to create all the rocks. Okay, and you can see that I'm painting like vertical in this point and painting horizontal to make easy to create the wave feeling in this section. I'm gonna paint just some rocks here. Sound layer with waveforms for animation, leaf art effects, maybe. Because Emmet and Eowyn are working really hard on creating better tools for animation. You can simulate the texture of painting with different colors that paints with stylized strokes. Mm-hmm. Okay, I need to check this after the stream, or maybe in another better moment. I hope you understand that I can't paint and analyze new ideas at the same time. Okay. Okay, you see, right now we have basically the same base for the painting. What do you think until now? Is easy or is complex? Because my idea is not impress anybody. Is to just give some tips or what I know about painting landscapes. And for example, you see that this part, it has much more light and it has just like this, or sometimes I get this cadmium. What? Cadmium. It's cadmium from cadmium. Well, maybe in English is different, but thanks a lot. Yeah, animations. 22-inch screen, Wolfware. What is the dimension of your? It's around 24. Is not a big screen. Is if you have any doubt, you can ask, because this stream is just for that, not to create a super painting. I realized that the last time I was painting, but not real focus on the comments. So maybe now I want to do the opposite. Okay, let me check. Thanks you. And I think it's a kanji, maybe. I don't read neither Japanese or Chinese. Sorry. This this brush is using the painting mode, which is located here. Let me check. Oh, this. Oh, let me check by default. Oops. Oh, something bad is happening. Yeah, right now. Is wash. This is wash, and wash is the blending mode. It's not the blending mode. It's the painting mode that I use to create this wash effect, this opacity related effect, and all my charcoals are created with wash, but with one trick, because just let me know. Just let me show you one example. Oh, my tablet is failing in the stream, seriously. As you can see, uh, in the pastel. Okay, this is by default. If I remember well, this is using the wash. Thank you for making the KD suite available as GPL. And thank you for Krita. Cheers from Brazil. Muito obrigado, Toquita. But this is a teamwork. It's a lot of work, really. So that's the reason we want to create much more features, and I know it because I am on all the meetings where people is talking with coders are talking about development, and we need more support, and we will be making much more with more support. But it's a time, it's a hard time, so we understand that things are changing a lot. So thanks a lot for the people who are supporting the Krita project and the Krita team. Okay. This was the trick. You can convert any build-up brush in a no in a now my mind is confusing me. This is well, I continue painting because it's a trick. Maybe I will make a short video for that, for all the tricks that I know. Oops. Yes, there is a button there. KD team. Let me check. Oops. Well, it's in the. If you go to the Krita org, you can see that you go to donate, and you see the team. There are more people behind the project, but as you can see how you can donate, and that helps a lot development, because imagine €1 or $1 per user, that will create a good amount for creating much more resources, much more brushes, much more videos, and that's the real life. You have to pay the bills. People usually eat. Okay. Let me just use the brush I was talking about to create the farm. I don't Lighthouse, I think is the name. It's the part dark light, and you can see how easy it is to create a house, another house. Then I put a roof like this. I put a roof. I create a cylinder, which is in a square, and just the top of the fire lighthouse, just something like this, and red, not so bright, something like this. The perspective, let me check. Yes, it would be something like this because the horizon is right here, so we will see the things above in this position. So okay, it's too big, but Anyway, you can see how I am mixing the brushes based on what I need to do. Because, for example, if I want to create some textured, rough texture impacts here, I will use this brush. Or if I want to use for detail, I will use this brush. I rely a lot in this cadmium, and then I play with this to create the transition, for example, and then I can play with more colors. Okay, but the good thing about this is that I can just select what I need in a moment. I don't have to spend too much time. But right now we have the brush preset history in Krita 5, and it has the static positions and the move to top on use and the bubble up on repeated use. So maybe you want to combine sets from brushes from different sets. You clear the history and look at this. I select, for example, this and this and this and this. They have nothing in common. It's a random selection, and I have my brushes. Okay, so it's a very small set, but it contains different brushes from different sets. And when I change the painting, maybe I delete the history and then I think it's really useful sometimes. Okay, I move this to the right place. Let me check the comments. I wish there was a super chat option here. I have to check that because I don't know. This was talking. This was just for help. So if you want to use like a super chat option, just use the donate button in Krita. It's a comment for Tokita. Does Krita automatically update on the tablets like the S and iPad Pro? iPad Pro can help. The Krita software can't be right now on iPad Pro, if I know well, because Apple brand has its own laws about this, and it has the rights to decide what they want in their platform. But I know Krita would like to be in all the platforms possible. I don't know how to create updates in tablets really, because I don't have one in Android system. Thanks. Thanks to you for being here. I know it's late, so if you want to ask something about how can I do this, how can I do please help me landscape. Oh, remember you can in Krita 5, and that's is really interesting. You can, I think it's a tier work. It's like deactivating or activating the bundles right here, because for example, I can go here and I know I have the classic and dirty and the crayons, but I can go here and deactivate the crayons and deactivate the classic, and you can see right now I only have the dirty chalk and the default pastel or chalk details. I think it's very good to have control over the bundles and don't have the need to reset the software. Okay, any question? Start painting for a beginner. Start painting like that is needed. Appropriate colors and brushes. Well, for me, first we need to understand how the values work. I paint in color because I usually think about the contrast and color at the same time. Iodine, interesting. I made my own brush set to not go above like that. I will have to give that Docker a try. You have enough with your plugins, Iodine. Check it out in kritaartist.org in the plugins section. Aram Binsnar, some money. Wow, this, sorry about that. How to draw trees? I can seem to draw them. Well, if you want a spoiler, I am making a video with vector libraries and I am adding this kind of things for adding trees, just like this. Okay, you just select this and group, select the color, and you have maybe something like this, and you can then convert the vector layer to raster layer, just like flatten layer, and you can paint the tree. What is on the roadmap? On the roadmap coming up soon? Well, you can be updated, reading the news, being in the meetings, there are documents. How to draw trees? Yeah. Or the brushes pre-install, advanced color selection. What do you mean about advanced color selector? Okay, I continue painting. Let's delete this tree. But in the next video, I will show you how to use this feature, the vector libraries, very well, and I have spent a lot of time creating this. Maybe, for example, just like here, something like a temple or ancient building. Do you make a transition from large details to small details? Yes. I go from out to the minor details. Ooh. Suggestion feature. Request color code input display below advanced color picker. You can do the request in kritaartist.org and be sure that the developers read the info there. Let me talk about just 1 second, because maybe not everybody know about the Krita artist. Krita artist is where we have a lot of good artists creating artwork, and you can you can make a feature request right here, and you can see there's a lot of them. People is requesting a lot, and that's the reason we need more support to be um, to make this possible, because there are really good ideas. You can investigate just a bit. There is also a section for the resources, the plugins. And you can see there's a lot of plugins, and you can see this guy Ayodin. It's creating amazing things. Okay, so you can check it out and let me know what do you think about the plugins. There are a lot of things. This has, wow, 600 comments right now. It's amazing. Um, I I don't know how to import OBG in terms that keep the mesh from Blender into Krita, because Krita right now can handle the 3D space. Do you have any tips for beginner background artists? Yes. Start with fundamentals, and because we are like we have a lot of different videos available on YouTube. Sometimes we can get so overwhelmed by the content that we left the painting. But if you start just step by step, you can be a more advanced user with the same effort or less effort. So be sure that the artist you are looking is a good teacher, not only an impressive artist. Okay. What is this Keita? Keita version? I don't know Keita, but Krita is right now in 5.0.6. Oh, I was painting in the vector layer. Vector layer, just remove and painting. It was a joke. Okay, I was painting, I'm talking at the same time, so our landscape, it lacks of detail. I'm going to show you just why I paint the dark parts first, because now if I give just light here, maybe saturate this a bit more, and I have something like this, and I'm painting the light part of the rocks, okay? Because now I'm going to create the splattering effect, and I can use this or I can use this to give more intense. The example image is gone. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Takiro, for letting me know. And you can see that I'm painting right now. I think this is falling scale. I'm gonna make control. Yeah, something like this. We have to be aware of the scale. That's the reason why I like these brushes, because I don't have to be too much worry about the detail. I can paint and mix without worrying too much. Okay, you see right now, oh my god, 4 a.m. Then congratulations, because you are a really big fan. And you can see how I'm detailing the rocks. I am painting the dark side versus the light side and defining on the fly the shape. And I don't paint the lights like this, like creating a pattern. Okay, yeah, here is almost 23. You can see it's some kind of random. And I forgot to paint my shape like this. I paint maybe dark. The reflection a bit darker. Don't forget that, because there's always a loss of power in light, in reflections. And this is the time when I use this kind of brush for detail. Okay. What's the best way to start your paintings? Back to front, or should you sketch the objects? There are different kinds of approaching for digital painting. There are the very formal investigator that creates a lot of sketches and then create the final piece with all the sketches really tested. And then there is people, yeah, I think like me, that I am painting and I am discovering as I am painting in most of the time what I want to improve, what I want to remove, or what I want to keep. And this is something that I was to talk about. Do you think this is a good timetable, a good hour for streaming? Do you prefer another hour? Do you prefer? Just let me know in the chat, please, because when I read the comment that was telling me I can't be there, so sorry for that, because there will be the 4 a.m. and I say, oh man, I can make happy everybody. Yes, it's fictitious place. I grew up in the north of Spain. There's a lot of beautiful landscapes there. I grew up surrounded by mountains. So maybe I am a bit influenced. Okay. This is more or less, this will be like the first stage for this painting. Maybe the clouds need some movement. They are dying in the sky. And now is when I paint some splats like this. But to make the splats, I need more, maybe more saturation, something like this. And you can see how it's flowing. And here I need to resize because it's a distant place. And you can see, okay, now these are in distance, so yeah, I need to paint maybe base like this and give it a bit of light. And as I want to increase the foggy mood, I can use this and increase the size, same color as the sky, and I can blend like this, or maybe give a white and I give a more foggy like this, okay? And main reason I create this brush was this, to just like stretch the brush stroke to get all these tiny details that are like round, like in a more squashed feeling, okay? And that's the reason why the splatters are like this. And when you create the splatters, there's also water, so we will paint some highlights on the rock, but not right now because I don't have too much time. Maybe like this. And this is something that is fixed really near where I lived in Vizcaya. Okay, I define this. I put maybe here there are too much light, so then I select dark or a green like this, and then I just make a couple of brush strokes or more darker because it's receiving some shadow from here. I have base and muses pack. Yes, they work perfectly in Krita 5. Well, muses, I was checking and some brush was not working as I designed, but that is because Krita evolved and improved things that I was using when they were not developed. No, they they were. I was using tricks, and that's the reason why right now they are not working because Krita has changed the work that manages the parameters and brushes. It's a super good question, Robin Slee. Time and money were not an issue. What features would you like to see in Krita? Wow. Do I have to answer this in real time? Well, I would like to have better inking tools. I think I'm going to be really honest. Um, I would like to have a better inking tools because the brushes are really good. We can configure really well the brushes, but stabilization is not as good as I could expect for inking. I remember that because I had a student, um, and this was an interesting experience because I learned um, from that Krita needs to be more in that direction, and is working really hard for that. But and I have already inking brushes waiting to be released. Maybe I release them, but the behavior is not what I was expecting when I designed them to. So I left for another time. Um, Krita is also TR is asking for feedback in Krita. Sorry, in Krita artist about the assistant how to improve them. So it's the right time. So let me show you. Are you enjoying the stream? Do you want more time? Just let me know in the chat because I don't want to bother you. Let me check here. Assistance. This legs. Oh, okay. Proposal icons. Call for feedback. No, is this no? Okay, let me check. Vector leaves assistance. Okay, this is what I was looking for. This page for brainstorming. One of the main coders of Krita is asking for info about what do you want for the assistant's behavior. So it's the perfect time for asking things or giving info about, well, I was trying to do this and I can't. And even when Krita has amazing tools for perspective, for example, there are people that want to have them in a layer, so you can read there the information. Okay, so you can see how this green is orange, green, yellow. So vegetation is not always green, pure green. Green alone is boring. You can read in the Color and Light book by James Garney that we have to be very careful with green because it can damage a lot the landscape if it's not well applied. From the brush strokes, and yeah, the speed it causing, it's creating problems. Really enjoying this. Thanks, Sauce. Okay, you see how I am painting? It's not the same, but you get the idea on how I painted this landscape. And I'm going to finish the stream. So last 5 minutes for questions. I'm reading the chat. If you want to know something about the brushes, if you want to know whatever you want to ask about. Thanks a lot. Pink Star. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but you are telling me that I am replaying all the questions, and yes, I am interested in in teaching things because in my daily life I have my students and I teach digital painting for a living. So Norlilsk, called scary place in the north, Milana. I was in Norway in 2015. It was a super cool experience. Yeah, you have in Norway there are beautiful landscapes too. Also in Asturias, in Spain. I love Asturias stuff. For painting portraits, yeah, it's a good question, but I think is they are usable because once you have the big area, the mid area, the special effect, opaque versus wash, and details, you have everything you need for painting. Is there any way to see an angle of one brush for a tablet with tilt? Any way to set an angle of? Yes, you can control the angle. For example, you can see that this brush is directional, but I can disable this in a moment. I can use I'm not using the rotation, so it's a flat brush. It's not tilting or whatever, but you can see I can change the angle with the rotation here, or I prefer this with this menu that appears here, this window pop-up. You can control the angle, and now your brush is tilted, and also you can control, look at that, you can mirror or mirror vertically the angle. So I can have this, or if I go here, I can flip horizontally. And it's very good because when I paint on my laptop, I use a tablet that doesn't have tilt, and for charcoal, what I have here, I deactivate it. Yeah. Maybe for this brush, for drawing brush, for figure drawing, if I want to draw something, you can see right now I have tilt, but if I am in a laptop, I don't have the rotation, so my brush is not in the right angle. I'm gonna remove the size because it's using also the tilt, and now you can control the angle just looking right now here. Okay, maybe not, just this. It's like a pencil. Okay, now I reduce, I have my brush, something like this. But if you are using, like in this case, the mask brush, you have to do the same for the tip, and the secondary brush tip. Okay, so I'm going to remove it, and you can see how this is more like no, let me check. It's more like pencil. The next time for the streaming, I don't know, maybe when I have time. Your painting style, but stay tuned because I always give I always create a post on the Krita community, and also in Krita Artist I publish a thread about the stream, and you can write here also comments and let me know about what you like, what do you want to improve, what would you like to talk about for the next. So right now, what would you like to talk about for the next stream? Tanjore paintings style. I write it because I don't know what it is. Tanjore. Tanger. I don't know. Tan. Thanks for the stream. Enjoy. Maybe in a stream for charcoals will be fun. creating your own brushes in the future. I have planned to make a video about brush making because I think that the more brush makers, the more fun. So it will be really interesting to see what can you create with some advices or tips. Changing brush settings while painting. Sauce. Learning about the brush engines. Oh, about the brush engines, there are something that is not so known that you can go here in the engine and you can select here the color smudge for example, or you can select here the brush engine, maybe the spray brush, and you can see that in Krita you have these brushes that are using like spray, because you can see how this change, or maybe to see the form, or maybe shape. This is really interesting because it came from the idea from another software, if you remember, is the alchemy, but you can create, for example, shapes like this, and you are filling really fast a mountain. Well, you know the idea. Mm-hmm. Oh, making a Friday evening regular meeting. Well, we can talk about that manga Tengu in Krita Artist. So it will be interesting to see more Krita artists interacting, like David Robois, Soma, you, and just like having a good time. Krita 6, oh my god, you are really fast. I don't know. Oh, how to do blending in a lot of different styles, using different brushes. Yeah, the Krigsbrouwerhue, that is interesting. The blending possibilities of Krita. High Visitor 05. How to make a blender from any brush. Well, this is an easy question, because you can go here, for example, to the purple brushes that are color and smudge brushes, and you can see they're painting. Okay, but if you reduce the color rate, then you have a blender. So if you go to a layer that has content, you can blend with this brush, or you can paint just a little. You are blending, or you can go to a new layer and use the overlay mode, and then you are blending from a transparent layer and empty layer, as you will do in a already painted layer. Is that answering your question, Milana? Layer mask and blending modes in Krita will be, I have another video in mind for layer mask and blending modes, more oriented to layer mask. Any good websites? You can search in YouTube channel, in the Krita official channel, that there are not all the videos, but most of them have brushes in the description. Thanks, inspirador. Muchas gracias, Rotif Sined. I'd like to see something on blending too. Amazing. Didn't found those brushes that you use. It's No, they are not paid, Juan Maciel. They are right here. I put the link before. Just let me put again. Thanks, us. Yeah, I think there are a lot of hidden gems of Krita that people doesn't know yet. But are we able to import brushes on the mobile version of Krita? Sadly, I don't know too much about the mobile version of Krita. I don't have a tablet to test that. You have access to the brushes because they are available with the direct link, so you just download it and import. So draw landscapes on my YouTube channel will pencil 2D. Darren Bark Music, is that a request or that you paint the landscapes too? Thanks, Darren. Yeah, I think it's a beautiful place. I am in the ship, just relaxing. How I balance dark and light colors for paintings in Krita? Well, um, oh, sorry, have pasted, um, trying to undo. Okay, usually I have the Control E for checking the gray value, and you can do it just going to I remember image just settings, configure Krita, and then you go to the color management and soft proofing using the model grayscale. Normally it's in CMYK, but I use the grayscale, and then I assign a shortcut just here in keyboard shortcuts, say proof to Control Y. But mainly me, I use my experience. I check with, and also what I like. Updated assistant tool will be great. Well, let's give them some time to improve that. But the assistants already that we have in Krita are even better than in other softwares. Really, trust me, because I use other softwares on my drawing lessons. Not everybody wants to use the same software, and I can compare the abilities. And when I saw them that they can use a curvilinear perspective, that they can use the drawing assistants, and they can view the line that they are going to create, it's amazing. It's a super cool job from the programmers. Wolfware, your canvas is a DNA4, but what is your resolution? The PPI, it doesn't, it's not important because I'm not gonna print this. It's just a demo. Any option for hue, shift, toggle, cyclic using a keyboard shortcut? Ooh, yeah, you can use At the K light, you can see how you can maybe let me check. This is the color. You select the base and you are lighting with L by default, or darken again with K or key. As you can see, it's good because you return to the previous color. You can continue, and it's not a movement like this. It's more curvy. Okay, that's the rule of thirds, and golden ratio actually help in paintings. It depends, man, because the thirds and golden ratio, the rule of thirds is false. There is no rule of thirds. It's something that is bad. It's something that is not well explained. What you are playing with is proportions, and is really different. But this will be for another video. Filter on top of this painting, or is the texture I'm seeing part of the brushes? No, you are watching the the real behavior of the brush. You can see like this. Select a color. Okay. You can see how the color is varying because I'm using a variation in hue and value. It's a slightly variation, but it gives you the effect. You can increase the variation. Okay, so if you go here, now you can see it's stronger. And if you want to increase the variation in hue, just increase this. Now it's going to be crazy. It's really fun. And that is something that I use also in another sets like crayons, for example. And remember, I create this for kids. It's Crayon 06 Fun. You can see it's really for entertaining the kids. But it's not only for kids, because let me show you that if you use there is a video about that, okay? But you can play with pressure and you get this, okay? It's a super strange color. They're purples, green, blue, but also you can paint very softly, and that creates maybe you have more basic color, and then you create a wash, and you can give variation, but it's subtle variation. Hue shift. Hue shift, interesting. I have to investigate that because I never tried. And if you want to use these brushes, you just have to take a look of the videos in the channel. They are full of content. They are full of basis tips, and the brushes are there, so you don't have to pay anything. It's a lot of work, but Krita is sponsorizing me to create this during these 2 years. I think it's good to have them in the channel. And now it's time to finish the stream. It has been really fun. I hope you get some tips. See you next time. Bye.